I've been introduced, so really I don't need to reintroduce myself again. I'm standing here with a background in IT. I can see quite a number of my industry peers. I work for a broker company called Minet Kenya, or otherwise the old name by the name of Aeon Minet. We're in 9 countries in Africa. And of course, we are supported by the Aeon Global Network. I'm here today, I don't think I'll talk much about AI and data analytics. I wish to park that aside. And I wish Ali was here because Ali talked more of penetration. Ali talked more of uptake in terms of insurance. And I think probably he was preempting what I'm about to talk about. So the topic that I will really briefly talk about is bridging the protection divide, tailoring solutions for unsecured millions of Africans and Kenyans. And I'll just tell a story. Imagine this. Out there in the village, a family is actually out there in their modest farm trying to survive and make ends meet. And every day, they get out, they wake up in the morning, they till the land, of course, with the hope that the land will actually provision their daily bread, take kids to school, and they've heard something about insurance in Jambo FM or wherever else. However, they think it's for the wealthier. So what do? They just continue tilling the land, hoping for the best. Insurance is for the big shots in the city. And one day, a severe drought happens to hit. Catastrophically, this family goes down because they have no source of income and nothing to depend on. The family hopes are dashed. It's just, they cannot believe it. And of course, education is put on hold. They can't afford their day-to-day. They're not in any safety net, and therefore, they're actually done. They look for neighbors to support them, friends and relatives. Now imagine this. And imagine this as Minet, for example. If that same family had access to a simple, affordable insurance product designed for farmers like them, they would not be in that position because, of course, they will place a claim based on what happened to their farm, and their children will go back to school, and that particular claim, once paid, it will allow then again the farmer to replant for the next season and to continue supporting the family. But instead, there's despair, there's no hope, and they lose hope. So I'm going to talk about now that convergence between insurance and technology. So what is the context? The reality is, and I think that is what Ali alluded to, is that we're in Africa, we're in Kenya. Every other day, there's a risk. As you move from your home to where you work, as that farmer goes to farm, when we have floods like the way we had, crops were destroyed, and because insurance is for the wealthy, therefore, the people who end up suffering are actually the poor and people who cannot actually afford. So millions of Africans, unfortunately, are in this particular trap. And because also of the dying economies in Africa, then it is even getting worse. But why is it that the penetration is so low and the uptake is so low? We have traditional products that have actually been there in the market. They're either too expensive, they're not accessible, complex, and therefore then they become like, they're not wanted by the communities. So there's this protection divide, and what we are really saying to the techies, to the insurtechs, even as much as we talk about AI, data-driven decisions, robotics and telematics, that is our world. Really, what we need to think of is how we are going to tailor-make solutions to fit for purpose solutions that the populations can adopt. we need to have inclusive products that meet people where they are, and they're accessible, and they cater for specific needs. Please underline that, cater for specific needs. For us as Minet, we are known to design products, custom-based solutions to meet the population requirements, and I'll just jump into some of them as I move along. And this bridging the gap, how are we as Minet embracing this technology? Of course, we investigate the need, we look at the need, then we try and understand, we become a bit transparent in the way we are designing these solutions, and ultimately even the way we are delivering the solution, and we ensure accessibility and support is actually part and parcel of these particular products. And you'd be surprised, every population segment has a voice. A farmer, an engineer, a plumber, all these people have a voice. And I know sometimes we concentrate so much on the corporate lines because obviously of the bottom lines. But for us, we look at tailor-made solutions and we ensure that accessibility, like for example, demystification of accessibility, like what Ali said, even before you go to AI, go back to the basics, old technology, USSD. I can just, place a request for a claim to be processed. I can, through USSD, start to do something. Just, a claimant can basically say, there's an incident that happened here, and I'm located at this place, and that claim will be received. So even before we go to AI, how can we go and grab this market? Because I can tell you, there's a lot of potential out there, and there's a lot of business. Democratizing reporting. Let everybody be aware within the process. If it's a claim, for example, and it's reported, the chain, the underwriter, the broker, everybody should actually be able to know, and technology facilitates the same. And of course, support. We are not everywhere. Minet may be everywhere or not everywhere. Britam may be everywhere but not everywhere. And therefore, what you're saying is partnerships will help. We can partner with government institutions. We can partner with telcos for distribution. And that includes, and that penetration from 2.7 will definitely change. I would like a video played just to show you that there's potential out there and that you can tailor-make solutions, insurance solutions for anybody across Kenya and Africa.
For very many years, whenever human beings came into contact with wild animals, there's been a bit of a conflict because, they are different species. And this has been exacerbated the last few years due to the climate change and the drought that we experienced, where animals left their homes and came into homesteads. And so there's more conflict where people got killed, there was destruction of property, destruction of foodstuff and many other things.
Mtoto wa dadangu akauliwa na ndovu, mtoto wa dadangu akauliwa na simba, kaliwa kabisa kabisa, hata tulizika kichwa. Hii ni alama ya simba. Alinitia meno na kandararua na jino likatokea mpaka hapa. Hii jino moja ndio liliniwahi vizuri. Na nikajua kwamba nimefanya nini? Huu mkono hapo umevunjika. Baada ya mwezi mmoja kuja kupona, sasa nikaanza kufuata process. Na hivi naona hata uzee umeingia. Na hivi nitaona nitakufa sija kupata hata ndururu.
Just in this year, the KWS and the agricultural people came. When they did the evaluation of the destruction which had been done by the elephants, it was around 817,000. I am queued. I don't know when I'll be cushioned against that destruction. Just like medical care, just like agriculture. The most important thing is a timely response. If it is a cushioning by form of financial assistance, then if it is timely, it will make an impact.
When the incident happens, we are faced now with the next challenge that an incident happening now cannot be considered tomorrow. because it has to wait until the community wildlife compensation committees meet. And by law, these committees are meeting only 4 times in a year. When the committees meet and the claims are approved, receiving the exchequer from the Treasury has always been a process. And in our case, we have seen delays of even 5 years. Our biggest issue is when we lose goodwill from the communities, then that space for coexistence is shrinking day by day.
When I came here, I was handed over a report that was done in 2019 that proposed we move from the manual way of doing things and introduce a scheme administrator. So far, we are now in the process of rolling out the new scheme administration for human-wildlife conflict. What that does, of course, is increase the effectiveness, it increases the efficiency, but it introduces a room for PPP.
This is the first time that the government has actually partnered with the private sector, and the government is interested to leverage the experience in terms of claims administration, the technology that the private sector has.
The first component of this particular technology, we have what we call fast notification of loss, is where the claimant using various channels like USSD to report an incident from wherever they are in the country, and that is *202*09#. We also got mobile apps. And then, of course, the second component is what we call the CVO. We have technology for verifying the incident by the community verification officers. And then, of course, we do have a back-end solution where now the approvals are done by Kenya Wildlife Service and the government for payouts to be made.
Bringing together the 3 partners, I believe, brings the winning team in terms of being able to execute the human wildlife compensation scheme in a timely, effective, and also trusted, because it's the first time it's being done, not only in Kenya, but globally.
We are currently establishing a national wildlife database so that all scientifically published data are in one portal, because you can have information, but they are not available for managers. So as an institute, our role is to provide information that will help managers to address challenges, including human-wildlife conflict.
So compensation for human-wildlife conflict is going to be a daily occurrence, just like human-wildlife conflict is a daily occurrence. So as they happen, we compensate.
We are looking at close to over 5 to 7 billion in terms of claims, if you add up what has been done up to now. However, for this claim, we've got nearly $1 billion. We hope now, with the good leadership of President William Ruto, with the economy growing, with the budget will be able to expand. And so you'll find that we'll have more resources. Therefore, we'll get a bigger package to be able to compensate people and be able to clear the backlog very soon. It's a very good system that we're using the digital spectrum to ensure accuracy and speed, and also the rights of our people.
So, ladies and gentlemen, that's just an example of how insurance penetration can be managed with partnerships, and of course, even using the simplest technology and democratizing reporting. And I think the challenge is to all of us, even as fintechs and insurtechs, to just, get to know the kind of product you've tailor-made and contextualize it's at the same solution at a very basic level. So there's a lot of opportunity in tapping the unserved markets. And I think you've seen an example of a need of just reporting claims from mashinani all the way to payments by the government through the ministry. So the question is, how will you innovate moving forward? Thank you very much.